Hi, Scanner members. It's Jared here. Happy to be with you guys. I'm getting the update out today. I like to get a video usually at the very start of the week. Getting out a couple hours later than I typically like to, but I've been keeping an eye on the markets and ready to update on any potential trades that are or were setting up. So we haven't really missed much, so we're okay there. Let's look at a little bit of what we have going on right now. First off, we have this Swiss franc Japanese yen that's just kind of sitting and waiting, and we're just looking for the next course of attack here. I like this kind of thing. These targets. This is why I'm okay holding on to the chef yen for literally as long as needed, because this setup is just clean and good. This is just a good setup. This is big time support down here at 10800. Any dips, any movements towards 10800 again, we'll be placing some buying orders on for some additional buying the dips. But I think this is a great little kind of head and shoulders pattern. It was smaller and it's kind of gotten a little bit bigger. I think we have a really nice move like that coming, hopefully for that big push up into 110 and beyond. So we want to just make sure we get some. I know a lot of people are in at 10800, which is awesome. There will be another opportunity to probably get in, maybe in the 108, 15, 20, 30 area. And we might even see a double bottom at 107, 60, 70 area. Who knows? But I think that this is buying time on the Swiss yen, and it's time to take this thing up and get that move into that weekly pivot ultimately, or weekly pivot ultimately into that monthly pivot, and hopefully into some of these pivots up here. We've got a lot of missed pivots and market imbalances and so on up here that are just great. So I really want to see that movement happen. So I think buying at the 108, 10, 20 area will be a good spot, and I'll place a pending order for that. And I'll let you guys know when I do. But I think this is a great time for this thing to give us a breakout and start moving right back on up again. So really liking that Swiss yen, looking good. If you're already in it, you've got 2 or 3 positions maybe already, and you've got some lower buys down here, excellent. If not, we'll be adding, like I said, probably towards some of these lows here. We've got a daily pivot sitting at just about 10800 and a couple levels over here. So somewhere between 10800 and 10825 I think will be a good spot to add that final buy position for that run up into 110 and hopefully even further. But I like the trade. It looks awesome. It looks great. I think we're going to be just fine on here. Then we have the Aussie pairs are getting pretty hammered right now, but I still really like the whole Aussie setup. And so we've got this Aussie CAD. We started small and we have not added to the Aussie CAD yet. If you're still in this, just hang tight, stay the course. I haven't, we haven't closed the trade out. We haven't done anything. We got in at 94.30, so it's a little bit against us right now. But we'll be adding to this at some point in the pretty near future here. We've got, a market imbalance and a monthly pivot and a weekly pivot and a market imbalance and a daily pivot. I mean, this thing's really just going nuts. So I want to add to this thing a little bit lower, but remember we've got some levels down here that I think we could get to. And I wouldn't be surprised to see this Aussie CAD hit 93, 20, 30 area before we really start seeing some, some possible adding of positions. So I'll look at that, another 30 pips lower, and we might add to this Aussie CAD for a little bit of a run up. So just hold the course on this one. If you're in at that 94.30, remember we're going to be adding to that another 30 or so pips lower, and I'll keep you updated there. So those are our 2 current open positions. Now, if we look at what we have coming up, we've got a few things in the works. Larger time frames are still kind of, working on getting some numbers. We're seeing some yen pairs getting some numbers and so on. And so we're keeping an eye on that on the hourly charts. We're also looking at 30-minute charts. We're getting some numbers there. Euro New Zealand's giving us some big numbers, and we're seeing, dollar yen giving us some big numbers. The yen pairs have been going kind of crazy. So we'll keep an eye on that for 30-minute trades. For 15-minute trades, things that are getting a little more immediate, again, we're just still kind of working on some numbers. The pound Swiss, small chance I might try a pound Swiss trade. I love trading the pound Swiss. I just hate trading the pound because there's too much uncertainty there. But pound Swiss has given us some numbers, and we might keep an eye on that. So I'll discuss that as kind of, tomorrow probably, as we get a higher, better bar count. You can see that's pretty extreme. This is on the 15-minute chart, and currently it's 100 pips away from the moving average. So if you look at it real quick here, I mean, it's just gone totally nuts. And the thing that we want to see is targets. This has got plenty of targets. It's got a good bar count. Everything's looking good there. We want to make sure that there's a good level to trade against, and that we don't really have. We could say that there's a little bit of a short-term, rising channel kind of in the works here, and maybe that's enough. I don't know. I'm super duper careful on pound pairs right now, and right now we're seeing a lot of Swiss franc strength because there's a lot of safe haven movement there. So we'll let this play out a little bit more. We may revisit the pound Swiss franc tomorrow. I'll let you know. But it's, as you know, on pound pairs, I'm kind of staying away and trying to be a little bit careful there. We've got some other ones. The dollar Swiss franc is working on a 15-minute trade, which is looking good. And I'm going to give that a little bit of an opportunity. And we've got a few others that are kind of slowly creeping up. Euro Swiss is getting there. All the Swiss franc pairs, you can see New Zealand Swiss, Aussie Swiss have all made big pushes as well. So we've had a big Swiss franc movement. And it's been great. In the other group, we had some pretty good trades shorting the dollar Swiss, making some good movements down there. But that wasn't a scanner trade, which is why I didn't post it in the group here. Coming over here to the 5-minute chart, we do have a couple of things that are looking pretty interesting. New Zealand Swiss, Aussie Swiss, these are giving us some pretty good 5-minute bar counts. Euro Swiss, same thing, 5-minute bar count. Dollar Swiss, same thing. This is still updating slowly but surely, but the dollar Swiss has a good 5-minute bar count as well. So if we go look at all these Swiss pairs here, we can look at Aussie Swiss, as we said, 5-minute chart. Pretty good little bar count right there. You can see that Aussie Swiss is it's run about 339 bars, and we're typically looking for about 250 or more. So we're coming into a nice little area here. I'm going to watch this just a little bit. The Australian dollar's been getting beat up pretty bad, so I'm going to give this a little bit of time, but we've got some great targets on this Aussie Swiss. So you can see right here we've got daily pivot, weekly pivot, daily pivot. We've got some market imbalances and some details in here. So this is probably a good one to start keeping an eye on and looking for a little trade coming up here. So I'm going to watch this, and I'll keep an eye, and I'll post in a couple of hours if there's going to be a trade coming on this Aussie Swiss. We've got some exposure on the Aussie CAD already, so we want to probably be a little bit careful with more Aussie exposure. New Zealand Swiss as well is giving us a good little 5-minuter. So there should be some pretty good numbers here. We're still looking at the 300 and change, 340 and change there. Seem to be hitting a little bit of a double bottom. We've got a nice target in this daily pivot up here at 66.30, and we're sitting here at about 66.09. And we've got the daily and weekly pivot over here at 66.80, 85, and so on. So these are all going to be good little areas to trade towards. But again, we're kind of lacking a little bit in the way of areas that that could really turn this around, and that's why I'm being a little bit careful. There's no major support level that is favorable for a turn on Aussie Swiss, on New Zealand Swiss yet. So that's where we're being a little bit cautious, a little bit careful. Euro Swiss is also giving us a little bit of a 5-minute bar count here. So Euro Swiss looks good. Again, big bar count going all the way back here. And this guy is at 445. The other Swiss pairs are at 345, so this has gone even further. Euro Swiss is looking good. We are coming into a little bit of support here. So there's some consolidation that's kind of held on this Euro Swiss right through here. There was a market imbalance that it just hit and pushed through, and it has just tapped that weekly pivot that we wanted to get hit. And so we've just touched that. So that's looking pretty good for a possible turning point here. So we're going to keep an eye on this. So basically all the Swiss pairs made big, strong pushes today, and these should be some great opportunities to trade back towards coming up here. Dollar Swiss, same thing. Great daily pivots, great 5-minute bar counts. We're just kind of making sure that these guys don't, that they're kind of done dropping a little bit for now. And so we've got some big trend line support here that I think is going to be good on the dollar Swiss. Let's get this a little closer to parity, and I think we'll have a great opportunity to start trading back up towards some of those short-term targets. We have on the dollar Swiss, we have 3 consecutive daily pivots, which is pretty significant. So if you look at this guy right here, 3 daily pivots is always a pretty good bet. Market imbalance, 3 daily pivots. I'm just letting this dip a little bit more, and we possibly will look at buying into the dollar Swiss. I'd like to get it closer to parity. That's another 50 pips lower. If it gets 50 pips lower, we're definitely buying it. And that kind of goes with a lot of the Swiss pairs. If they can get just another 30, 40, 50 pips lower, we're going to be buying into those and trading them on up. We're going to limit our exposure to certain others. We've got an Aussie CAD trade going, and we've got a Swiss yen trade going. So we're going to try to, not have too much Swiss franc exposure, but these short-term oversold charts are looking pretty good for some opportunities to start taking some trades. So that's what I'm looking for at the moment. It's basically all Swiss pairs that are lining up. We've got some others that are starting to give us some setups as well. We'll keep an eye on those, but I think for the most part we're focused on these Swiss franc pairs. So that's what I'm looking at. I'll have trades and details posted over the next couple of hours, and we'll kind of see how everything plays out. Thanks everybody. More details to come. Take care.